What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So in 2022, roughly about 6 VPs were in fact rotated out to increase productivity, and based on the production numbers, they actually worked out fairly well for Lucid. So as you can see right here, it does look like 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗧𝗪, who is the VP of Supply Chain, he is giving his resignation and post saying that he's going to be spending more time with family. And in general, that might be true, but I do think that this is a very big linkage to the Q4 earnings. So I'm going to talk about all of that and potentially something else that Lucid needs to do in the short term. But before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So as you can see, this was posted about 2 days ago by, like I said, 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗧𝗪. After 8 years of helping establish Lucid's supply base and supply chain team, I am pleased to announce a transition of my role to Kevin Callanan, if I'm saying that right, so that I can spend more time with family. Which in general might be very true that he's doing this, but in reality, I do feel that he is just getting the axe. And typically in the past, Lucid's really not hesitated to get rid of VPs. And that's actually one thing that I really do value about Lucid. If something isn't working, they're going to not hesitate to axe the individual. So in general, I think that's a very good attribute of a good company, because when it comes down to it, there was something that was mentioned during the Q4 earnings that did signal that there was something in regards to supply chain. And that was in regards to the peer. So Peter did initially say that there was no bottleneck. Then when it comes down to the peer, then he did say, in fact, there was a bottleneck because of parts for the peer. They can't ramp up nearly as much as they can or want to because of a supply chain issue. So clearly this is where 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗧𝗪 most likely dropped the ball in some regard. And of course, ever since I think it is Q1 of 2022, Peter has said that the majority of the reservations are in fact for the peer. So clearly, as I've been saying for a very long time, the market wants the peer. Reservations, people want the peer. So of course, Lucid being the actual people pleaser, that's the way I typically see them. They like to go where the demand is, and people have been wanting the peer, like I already mentioned a couple times already. But because of the supply chain issue, this is where they can't really fulfill that desire or demand right now. So in general, I think this is good that Lucid is axing Peter. And in general, though, I do feel that there is some other VPs that do need to really get the axe. So I'm going to share that with you in a second. But right here, AT&T chosen as connectivity provider for Lucid Motors EVs. What does this truly mean? It ultimately means right here, connectivity is beneficial in all types of vehicles and gives owners the latest driving experience. And that's one thing that Lucid really does strive for the best on. It's customers, satisfying the customers, whether it just be their point of contact at the studio or to actually make sure that everything is configured to their liking, including their connectivity for the sound and every other aspect. This is why they constantly do so many updates behind the scenes as well to increase the customer experience. And in general, I think this is going to be a very good thing. And surprisingly enough, there was no PR whatsoever by Lucid. I think this is something that they really should have done PR from. And even more so as well, Lucid did participate in the MWC 2023, which is the Mobile World Congress 2023. I actually didn't even hear that this was occurring. So this is from February 27th to March the 2nd in Barcelona. So that'd be pretty cool to attend. But I think generally speaking, Lucid should have done some PR about this. And even looking on Lucid's website right here under the events section, you do see the Montreal studio is opening tomorrow, January 28th. But outside of that, they don't talk on this thing, which of course Lucid did participate in. And you can even see a nice picture right here. So in general, I think Lucid is really dropping the ball on their communication and their PR. And for those of you that have been subscribed for a while and been watching my Lucid content for a while, you know I personally do not like Jeff Curry, who is the VP of Marketing and Communications. I personally think that he actually should be the next VP to get axed. I don't know, maybe he must be the brother-in-law or someone either at Lucid or the PIF. I don't know why he's still around, because in general, I've never really understood how Lucid's marketing has solely been just word of mouth. So if Lucid is relying on word of mouth, why does this guy even have a job? Like, anyone could do that. They can hire any single one of us out there, especially if their marketing is just word of mouth. Why does he even have a job? It makes no sense to me. But still, regardless, he needs to really speak on this. This is actually a very big accomplishment for Lucid, especially to be picking such strategic partners such as AT&T and various other things. I think in general, there's a lot of potentials that Lucid is missing out on because most likely people are just sleeping at the wheel. It does really, really suck. But regardless, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Oddly enough, some people do like Jeff Curry. I have no idea why. Like I said, maybe he's the brother-in-law or someone big. But of course, I could be wrong. I'm not a financial advisor or anything, just listing out points on hopefully things that Lucid can do better. Because when it comes down to Lucid, I've already said many, many times, I love their product. Management team is a work in progress. And work in progress, unfortunately, is individuals such as Jeff Curry and unfortunately 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, because clearly if there was no supply chain issue or problem, then potentially they could be unleashing the pure and not necessarily just settling for 10 to 14,000 for 2023 production. It could be very much higher because, like I said, if you just do the basic math, in theory, Lucid should be able to do at the full capacity for the end of 2023, 62,000. So it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever the fact that it's only between 10 to 14, purely because of this 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗧. But in general, though, after the Q4 earnings have kind of been digested by everyone, I think overall you're seeing a lot more optimistic articles coming out saying that you should take advantage of these discounted prices. And to be fully honest, I actually do agree with them, because based on Lucid's huge amount of potential, then yeah, you'll be able to make a lot of good money. Short term might be a little bit more of a continuation of volatility, but if you are investing for the long term, this is where you're going to be making a lot of big money. As what this article does even say in here, it goes over the negatives, which of course I actually really do like articles that bring up both positive and negatives. If an article is only talking about positives, then I find it too biased. Even though I really like the underlying company, I just like to see and be unbiased. But again, I am a different breed sometimes. But I'll give you a quick summary of exactly what is happening. So market did close roughly about 3% up. After hours is slightly green, but on the actual chart, things are looking for the most part pretty good. So it is right below that 50-day moving average. And typically Lucid's already and has always struggled with that 50-day moving average. So the fact that it's retesting it once again is actually a very, very positive sign. And as far as what these indicators are talking on, stochastic right now is 12, so very, very oversold, and momentum, number of retail investors have just been getting out. But based on the volume, it clearly shows that bigger institutions have been buying the dip, whereas not necessarily the retail, because clearly I think retail is a little bit more too short-term minded sometimes, which does suck, and that's the downfall of being a retail investor, that you usually get caught up in these massive swings, whereas if you are thinking 2025 and longer, then yeah, this is a great time to buy in, which is why you do see a nice increase in the number of institutions owning Lucid. And I'll give you a quick update as far as what shorts did today. So short score right now is 82, utilization is 100%, and as far as what shorts did, they increased 1.88 million shares. And out of everything though, I see that as very optimistic. So the fact that shorts did increase almost about 2 million shares, but yet the actual stock itself was green, goes to show that big money is buying. And clearly, if it does get over that 50-day moving average, then shorts might be squeezed out of their position, because currently 22.31% is the short interest, which is the percentage of the free float, and currently 144.73 million shares is in fact being shorted. Cost to borrow as well had that nice spike up, so it went up to almost about 55% today, settled around 33 or 34%. So behind the scenes, a lot more good things are coming Lucid's way, probably better so if they do axe this individual next, so Jeff Curry. But once again, I could be completely wrong about all this. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you do like my Lucid content, want to support the channel, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. And one final thing I do want to share with you is a completely brand new promo with moomoo. All you have to do, click on the link in the description below or the comments, open up an account, and you get one free stock. It's completely no-brainer. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so take advantage of this. If you do want to throw $100 at the account as well, you do get 4 additional free stocks, and just because of this additional promo, you get additional 2 free stocks, and of which is AI and BBAI, obviously associated to the whole AI movement right now. So in general, by just signing up throwing $100 down as well, you get 7 free stocks. Completely no-brainers. And so once again, take advantage of this, link in the description below. And without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.